Hey everybody, this is Dr. J and Kamal streaming live after to the close, talking stocks, your favorite subject, primarily biotech, especially today, when the merger of Turning Point being gobbled up by BMY made headlines this morning and really helped the whole lift up all the biodrex, I should say. I think they more than doubled overnight, and that's what we like to see, biotech junkies. So Andrew notices that it's not a Kamal Green Friday for Kamal,
Right.
but it wasn't a disastrous day because biotech did well, and
Correct.
most of our viewers are biotech junkies.
Right.
So to that extent, it's pretty good. And the Yankees, they missed their no-hitter last night, but they held on to win the game. They came back to win the game. So not all is lost. And the Mets, they lost out on the coast to the Dodgers, but I'm dreaming of a Mets Yankees World Series, just like 2000. That would be my dream come true. We'd see that again. All right, so who else is here? Andrew and Alexis so far. Andrew, I thought you got rid of all your Labu, but today was probably a good day to sell. Alexis, hey Alexis, how you doing? Yeah, so we'll take a look at XBI. I think maybe not Labu, but we'll take a look at XBI today. We'll look at BCRX again because it did close above the 210.43 that we were talking about yesterday.
Yep.
And as a result, I couldn't control myself. I bought. I added to my collection, my BCRX collection. Sava was strong today, as Alexis points out. So was Innovis. So is a lot of my biotech waking up today. That really helped to offset big losses in Apple and the tech stocks.
Except Tandem. Except Tandem. All my bios went up today except for Tandem.
Tandem has been particularly weak. Trills, I think it has the right idea. Novus, when they start their phase 3 trials in earnest, I think they're going to get a shot in the arm along with the rest of the Alzheimer's drug companies. So Novus, don't forget, it's not only Alzheimer's, but their drug is good for Parkinson's as well, which gets me a little bit excited because we had a woman on the show from the phase 2 trial in Novus's phase 2 Parkinson's trial, and she couldn't stop raving about the benefits that she experienced from taking that drug.
Right.
So
But the volume is anemic,
I know because there's no news yet.
Right.
This will only move on news. I mean, it might creep up in anticipation of news, but it needs news. It needs to know that they're moving forward with their programs. Maybe they need a partner, whatever it is. They need something. Trills calls Enovis's drug the penicillin of neurodegenerative diseases. I guess, how good it is, I don't really know, but anecdotally, the story I heard was quite compelling, anecdotally. And, there were only 26 or 24 people in the phase 2 trial for Parkinson's. So I know one of them. That's 1/24 of the whole study, if you look at it that way.
Interesting.
All right, let's get to work. Start with BCRX, and then we'll back up and look at the closing prices on all the averages. BCRX, we drew the line yesterday right here at 1043. the high of the day on May 5th.
Yeah, it
It
made
took,
it a hair above that.
it took it out intraday easily and managed to close above it.
Yeah,
So
a hair.
I bought right at the close. I paid just what the closing price was. So I officially added for the first time in a long time on BCRX. And
You never sold, right, Dr. J?
what?
You never sold
No, I
BCRX,
never sold, but I actually added today.
right?
I mean, I did sell at one point. But for a long time I haven't sold.
So the next stop is the 50-day, I guess.
No, I think the next stop is up above the 50-day.
Okay.
1277, that middle of that big red candle, the top of the two candles from 413 and 414, right about like 1279 around there. That's where I see it going to. I don't think the 50 is going to be much of a problem. It might give it some pause at 1112. And I do think it wants to fill this gap right here. So I think we fill this gap and probably keep going. But the gap fill would come at the close 1139. 1139 is not much different than the 50. The 50 is at 1113. So maybe you're right. Maybe the 50 gives it a little trouble, but I think it gets past it at least to fill the gap. I suspect it'll keep going and up to this 1277 neighborhood, and then we might see a little pullback. So
Okay.
I'm pretty confident that this is juiced for another 15-20% on the upside. Of course, all in my opinion, all in our opinion. Our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with an advisor before acting, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Spiders were down 1.62%. That's about what they were up yesterday, I think. No, yesterday they were up more. It gave back about half of yesterday's candle, maybe a little more, actually a little more. Yesterday's high was 417. Yesterday's low was 407. We closed at 410. So it closed the day closer to the low than the high, but not by much. It's an inside day. It's not a bullish candle by any means. It's not the worst candle I've ever seen. And we did not go below the open from yesterday, which was 409.42. We did not go below the close from the day before, which was 409.59. So I see that as being a very key level. Our low is 409.53. I think we're okay on the spiders. I think next week we'll get more of this green, red, red, green, green, red, and probably bump up against 417 again. Maybe this time go through it to the 50-day at about 423.94. I just threw in that line. So I'm looking for a move up to the 420s before there's any kind of serious profit taking.
Right. And the volume is also lower than the previous few days.
Yeah, the volume is tailing off. Very, very, very good. No, you noticed that. That's true. The volume is definitely tailing off. It was higher on Tuesday. On Tuesday it was higher, yeah. Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, let's look at the XBI. XBI. And that was actually up 3.5%, 2.44, 71.21. So that means Labu is up about 10% on the day, triple the XBI, right?
Almost.
Yeah. Okay. We still have this area of consolidation, or trading range, whatever you want to call it, that we haven't been able to break out of yet. We're still not out of it. So the good news is when we break out of it, there's going to be a lot more room to run. The bad news is we haven't broken out of it yet. Let's put the bottom of the range in. There you have it. You can, very neat. You can see that very easily, right?
Right.
So the top is like where we were today, the high of the day, which was, let's see what it was. High of the day.
It's a tight channel.
7150, and the low would be about 66, 5 point channel, yeah. And we've been in this channel for weeks, about 2.5 weeks. So, chances are we break out of it one direction or another, and that'll be the tip off. Once we break out of this with a close above or below the top line or the bottom line, then it's probably not a bad idea to jump in if it closes above, and jump out if it closes below, if you're in it. Because you don't want to hang around to see new all-time lows below $61. So a close below $66, I would probably get out. Let's take a look at Apple. Had a lousy day today before its developers conference, right? Very lousy day.
Yep.
Down almost 4%, almost 6 points, $6 to 145.38. We have quite a bit of sell, not a huge amount of selling, but it's definitely a day where there was more sellers than buyers, and we're on the downside. It looks like very much like we want to close the gap here at 143.78. Let me draw that in. So I could see Monday starting off weak and turning positive midday, as Apple will probably want to close this gap. It doesn't have to be Monday, of course, but why not be Monday? So my thinking is we close this gap on Apple and then turn it around. It could go a little lower. I would hate to see it go all the way down to the midpoint 140 of that candle, but that's possible too. So I see anywhere between 143.78 and 140 as a stopping point for Apple. I think we have more to the downside, but I think it will not make new lows, and I don't think the market will either. So I'm basically optimistic, even though I think there's a little more room on the downside. Same is true with Amazon. Amazon didn't have as miserable a candle, and don't forget it comes after a phenomenal run. It's a minor give back day for Amazon. Amazon could be up on Monday based on this little give back today prior to the split on Monday. So I'm looking forward to green on Monday and green for the week. If it does do any giving back, along with Apple, along with the market, I mean, if there's general market weakness, I'll tell you where I think it stops. I do think we get the gap fill closed, a gap fill right here at 2302. So that would be my my area of support, 2302, or let's just say 2300. And that could be over a period of a couple of 2 or 3 days. And then I think we come back up here to challenge the highs we made yesterday at 2503. So that's how I see Amazon playing out. And ultimately, I think we go higher up to the gap, up to the 50% retrace at 2700, and the 61.8 retrace right about here at 2885. What am I talking about when I talk about this retrace? I'm talking about from this high of 329, the wave that ended at May 24th of 2025. So from 2025, we're going to go up 61.8% before we give anything back, in my opinion. Well, we might get stocks go up and down, but I mean, essentially, it's almost straight up to 2875, that area. So I see good things ahead for Amazon in the near to intermediate term, and probably the long term as well. Much more of a bull than all the bears that are emerging on Wall Street and major companies. First, we get Jamie Dimon growling, right, like a bear, and then we get Elon Musk joining him. We're getting a chorus of pessimistic CEOs, which is not good. I'm willing to bet they're wrong.
So, Dr. J, you don't think that a bunch of smaller investors will flood Amazon and buy the shares once they split next week?
I definitely think that we're going to get this. A lot of retail investors come in that wouldn't have come in otherwise. So the answer is yes, I do.
Okay.
And Google as well, when they split. So I think it was a very wise move for Amazon to split. I think it'll help the stock. It can't hurt the stock.
Yep, I agree.
What else did I put down today? I put down Amazon BC, CRISPR again, because CRISPR, we keep talking about CRISPR because it's showing unusual Momo for CRISPR. It's really turned it around. It looks like it wants to take out this crucial high at $70.94. It goes up on down days 4 or 5%. Today 3%. But it had been up higher. I don't know which high is higher. Probably this one. Yeah, it looks about right. 71.50, something like that. The actual number is 70.94 or $71. So I see $71 being some resistance here for CRISPR, but it is in some Zoom channel.
Correct. I mean, since the beginning of May, it looks like it had recovered nicely.
I mean, you have to pay attention to this one. Like I said, just when Goldman and Citibank turned negative. That was probably the buy signal that everyone was waiting for.
Yeah.
The analysts turned negative. We are zooming, Kamal, on this one.
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, from low of $42, 42 and a half bucks on May 12th. Tremendous move. In less than a month, we're up to $64.
Yeah, almost 50% right there.
Yeah, it is 50%. 50% move. I'll take it. And I think there's more to go. And furthermore, it could easily be bought out by its partner Vertex or someone else. So it's the way it's been trading and the way M&A activity is picking up. I wouldn't be shocked if this one is on the block, on the selling block. It has a tremendous pipeline. There'd be a steal at double the price that it is today. So at 130 a share, this would be a steal for Vertex or whoever, AbbVie. I don't know. Anybody could buy it. What else did I list? Did I list anything else? I must have. I'll take a quick peek. Anybody have any requests amongst our friends?
People are talking about VBev, who still owns it, and
VBiv makes me sick. I'm out of that one a long time. It's sub $1 now, that one. We
right.
could look at it. I just want to make sure I don't leave anything out from what I posted. BMY I posted, Intelia, Sava, and Ovis. Let's take a look at Sava. Sava is showing great resilience at this point. Also in a zoom channel off the lows. We are zooming with Sava. Sava looking very strong since the lows back here on also May 12th, $15.72. This is a double off the lows, very nearly a double. It doesn't look like there's any stopping it at this point. It has tremendous momo. No matter what negative articles the bears cook up, the shorts cook up, doesn't seem to matter. It's moving up. It's got the momo. I wouldn't want to be short this stock. It's got a head of steam. So Sava looking good. Now let's see Novus. Can it build up a head of steam? I gotta get rid of the drawings. Okay. This one has yet to build up any kind of momo. So other than a negative one, it's been a slow bleed.
Yes, I see that.
It's been a slow bleed from this high of $15. And I drew the trend line in. The only good news is we're now trading on the other side of that downward trend, sloping trend line. On April 5th, we were $15. We went down to a low of $8.39. Now we're back above 10. Well, that's the good news. Back into double digits where it definitely belongs. So we have trading range from about that $15 mark to from that $15 mark to that eight and change mark. And that trading range has lasted us from pretty much from outside of 1 or 2 days, you're going all the way back to, let's say, the beginning of the year, January 18th. We've been in this trading range from 15 to 8 and change, something like that. And more recently, much narrower trading range for the narrower one end, from 12 to 840. Let's say 8.5 to 12. Fairly narrow trading range, and even narrower over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. you're looking at a high of like 10, pretty much where we are, 1035 to the same bottom, eight and a half. Let's say 8.5 to 10.5. So that's where we've been over the last 3 weeks. I'm waiting for this 10.5 level to be taken out. And then I think it should have no trouble going up to test the 1175 level. So you can probably get a small percentage gain if you want to play it that way. You can also play it within this trading range that it's been in for the last 3 weeks. You could look for the bottom of that trading range and go long, or I hate to say it, the top and go short. I don't believe in going short anything, especially biodrec, which can at any moment could really spike. Uh, we looked at XBI, but we didn't look at IWM. Similar picture to XBI, looking good. And also, I think I wrote Natalia would be the last one that I wrote. But it's similar to CRISPR, just not as stellar a mover. Actually, not at all. It's more definitely in a trading range, whereas CRISPR is in a Zoom channel. That's the difference. Trading, I'd rather be in the one with the Zoom channel. On the other hand, watch this one, because if it breaks 50, you got to go into it. Then you're looking at a probable run to 57, and if it breaks that, you can get 75. So if these gene editing stocks start to get on fire, being led by CRISPR, of course, I could see a move to the $75 area, which had been support. Now it's resistance. So $75 would be an area that I would definitely take some off. That's it for today, as we summarized a lot of stuff. Jiggly's with us. Albo closed the gap today. Yeah, Albo was up nicely today. DVN and CRM. All right, let's take a look at one of them. CRM, the cabinet guy.
Do you still have CTIC?
No. I wish I did. CRM is Salesforce, yeah. Salesforce ignited a rally in all the software companies and cloud companies. It's the leader of the pack. Extremely good earnings and extremely good guidance. I think you have to own this one. I'm not too worried about the gap being closed unless the market starts going crazy on the downside. Then, of course, it would fill the gap at 160. That would be unusual, but it could happen. If the market starts heading south, it will take this one with it, just like it did all along. It took all the quality stocks with it recently. It would take this one too. But short of a market collapse, this one is looking to go up, not down. So the next target would be the fill of this candle right up, the fill of this big gap right here at 210.14. 210.14 is my target on Salesforce.com. Okay, so I guess we covered a lot of ground. Pretty good volume on CRM. CRM is a good one, cabinet guy. The kind of stock you want to add to and hold. Adios, amigos. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Kamal, you have a terrific weekend. Think green.
Yep.
indubitably, have a good weekend. James, Pretel, and Mika, Sava. We just did Sava. Ziesman wanted Tesla. Tesla is at the whim of Elon. Elon shoots his mouth off, and Tesla goes down. But I think it'll come back. Okay, that's it for today. As we're running past the half hour, which I don't want to do. Ciao. Good weekend. Bye.